Story 1. I don't know how I feel anymore about. We've been broken up for 3 months now. I met my ex when she worked at a local restaurant that I frequent. I was smitten from the second I saw her. She seemed the same. I asked her on a date. I guess I'm old-fashioned, and since the first date we were basically head over heels. We moved rather fast. She moved in 6 months after we met. We never fought, never a single bad memory. Then, she started becoming too close to a male friend, to the point I wanted to hurt this dude. We would fight over this friend. He's the kind of person the world's a better place without. Junkie, doesn't take care of his kids, unemployed, typical POS, found out she slept with him after she started using meds. She had no idea that I knew this. I slowly began plotting what to do next. In my state I'd have to give her a 30-day notice. I couldn't stand the idea of being around her for 30 days. We had a mutual friend that happened to be a girl. I offered her a rather generous amount of money to take her keys to my apartment when she stayed the night over there. She wasn't on my lease, but her job had shut down pandemic, so I was the sole provider for about a year and a half. I learned that if she has no key and I give her access to her property, then I couldn't really get into trouble, nor would she have any rights to enter my property. I was the sole leaseholder and all bills were in my name, and she was unemployed for about half the relationship. Long story short, I shut her phone off, put all her crap in my patio storage unit, and went and retrieved my keys as well as the vehicle that I was letting her use. I left her with nothing. I was so angry. I truly wanted to see her suffer the way I did. While my family now dislikes my guts, can't blame them. Friends say I'm a sociopath. Her family is strung out on meds and live out of motels, so they can't help her. The straw that broke the camel's back is when my mom and dad saw her holding a sign near a seedy motel asking for money. She clearly has become strung out on meds, and is sleeping on the streets. I wish I could feel nothing about this, but it's eating at my conscience every day. I can't get the idea out of my head that I could sink to such low levels and destroy the life of someone I was with for 2 years. I couldn't fix it now if I wanted to. I constantly worry about her, and even though she hurt me, I still love her. I wish I could have done things differently, helped her become self-sufficient. I want to help her, but I feel like if I help someone who ducked me over, I'm less than a man. Hopefully I can get over this sooner than later. If she cheated, get her out. Sounds like there was time for her to get a job if she's been unemployed that long. A little notice would have been probably more reasonable, but I don't blame you. I'd want her out ASAP too, and the fact that you have your name on everything makes it all your space, and you're right to do it how you did. Gotta say I'm impressed though. Good job. Hopefully your family comes around. Meds lead to problems, especially if people are hanging around junkies. Thank you for this. I would have gave her notice, but I own a lot of electronic crap, so I didn't want to risk coming home to my place in a pawn shop. When you're dealing with someone on meds, they are volatile, and I wanted to make sure she couldn't destroy my apartment or my things. They may come around. If not, well, that's on them. I told my mom if you feel so ducking bad, she should take her in. It's always the case. People make you the bad guy and never willing to help themselves. Definitely not worth the risk. Think you made a good decision. Good luck, my friend. She cheated. She got what she deserved. You're right. I guess maybe I'm letting outside influences duck with my head too much. It just baffled me that everyone acted like I owed it to her to help her cause she was dependent on me. Imagine having to sleep in the same apartment next to someone you think is cheating. Those 5 days before her key got taken, I had so much rage that I truly was becoming scars of the thoughts I was having. You are a sociopath. Kicking her out is one thing. Another thing is taking away all her things and shutting down her phone knowing she would be left with nothing. No one does this to a person they love. You didn't love her but your own ego and your idea of her, and when she didn't live up to that ideal, you felt that it's your right to destroy her. If you truly cared, you would have done something to help her get out of the homeless situation you created. Instead, you write this down to deal with your own pain and to justify your behavior to yourself again. It's not about her at all. Be at least honest to yourself. You sound like someone who's never been cheated on. She sounds like a cheater. I have been, many times. And eventually I mostly got over being hurt about it. Something is broken in the relationship if there is cheating, and it takes two to tango. It is much better to communicate with your partner about the fact that you have feelings or desires for someone else, but some don't have those skills, and things can escalate quickly, sometimes against better judgment. I'm not saying that cheating is right, it isn't. But it really isn't the end of the world, either. Being angry and hurt at the person doesn't excuse bad behavior on your part. I've been deceived more than once, but never had I got the idea to destroy someone, especially not when I've loved them. Imagine this situation: boyfriend is being cheated on girlfriend. They go for a walk and the GF is intoxicated and standing at a cliff, flirting with the end because her affair likes doing this kind of thing and she finds it cool. A decent ex-boyfriend would, despite his anger, see that she is in an emotionally vulnerable state, considering her family situation and the meds, pull her away from the cliff, or, if he is afraid of being dragged down by her, at least warn her, and detach himself by keeping a distance from then on if he can't or doesn't want to handle the mess. Deliberately placing himself behind her while pretending to be harmless and nice, then pushing her down the cliff, then looking at her broken body while she is still alive but not running the extra mile to get help is what a true sociopath is. Being able to empathize with his anger and pain is one thing, sympathizing with him and justifying it is something else. What you're saying is the reason why so many people are blackmailed to stay in toxic relationships. Being made to feel guilty for leaving someone toxic is not right. He hasn't destroyed anyone. He took what was his and left. I want to know what you would do in this situation? Not invalidating what you said cause it's somewhat true. The problem is having caused this situation in the first place, which I would never have done. But now that it has already happened, it's only fair to take responsibility for it, and that depends on one's own financial situation. If there is enough money, it would be fair to offer her a separate apartment, give her back her stuff, and also help her get away from the meds, or at least create favorably circumstances for her to do so. Contacting her, offering compensation money, and returning her things is the least a halfway decent person would do. And OP definitely doesn't sound like a poor person, taking someone you once loved in for 6 months at least, if she wants to, and support her until she can stand on her feet would be natural for a compassionate person, but I don't think it's doable for someone who has kicked her out in this way in the first place. I get that he wanted to break up with her and was hurt, that she messed up royally so that the relationship was doomed, and that helping her out now is extremely inconvenient and difficult, but life is full of these challenges. How one deals with them shapes one's character. Breaking up was the right decision, but deliberately creating her homelessness was sociopathic. Looking away, focusing on one's hurt ego, and consoling oneself afterwards that one is the sufferer due to one's broken heart, meanwhile not even realizing how extremely dear her situation is, and her situation is a direct outcome of his criminal actions, isn't a mature reaction but a highly narcissist response. I'm gonna be real here, he had a reaction like anybody else would, and yeah, it's kinda bad he made her homeless. After your significant other breaks up with you, he or she isn't your responsibility anymore, especially after cheating. It is what it is. Person shrugging. So what was I supposed to do? Risk my future and allow junkies to pass out on my floor, possibly have the police show up looking for meds cause she kept having friends come over while I was at work. I worked 12 to 16-hour days. I also didn't take any of her things, she had access to them. It's not my responsibility to take her things to her once the relationship is over. It's not that I don't care, but I'm not a rehab, I couldn't even begin to think how to help a dependent. I'm not justifying my behavior at all, I'm repulsed by what I became from blind rage. I see where you're coming from though. No dude. Do nothing. What you did was enough. She wasn't worthy of you. She just wanted a comfy apartment and SB to feed her. She could at least not be ungrateful, but she was, so you did well. Otsley is wrong, and so is any family member saying you owe your ex anything. Your ex used you as a source of support while risking your health to cheat on you with a med dependent. Hello, STIs. She would be the sociopath in this situation, not you. The idea that you'd set this unemployed, cheating med dependent up in her own apartment and consider paying her bills is just laughable. Who thinks like this? Your ex is a grown woman who won stupid prizes. If she wants out of the mess she made, then she needs to get herself out. I didn't judge you for fearing for your future or for kicking her out eventually. The way how you did it, stealthily, without any communication, without giving her a chance to adapt or any kind of support, is extremely vicious, and your humanity is telling you that you are cruel by giving you these feelings of guilt, which you're now trying to suppress by searching for validation from small-minded people who are just as hateful as this ugly side of yours which you're repulsed by. I agree with what Wave the Goat said. When you break up with someone, that person is not your responsibility anymore. She's already a grown woman. What OP did is just right. He is not a sociopath for making her homeless. And I couldn't agree more for what OP said. Keeping her in the house will only cause more trouble and put OP in an unsafe situation. OP is being sane and just thinking about the consequences. Cutting her out and not giving a crap about her and moving on with his life are what stable and sane people with self-respect does. Wish you all the best OP. Worldwide comments of the day, and people wonder why romance/love/marriage is a fading practice. They always want more but won't settle with what they have. Relationship advice and surviving infidelity should be required reading for anyone man who is thinking of getting married. 1 hour a day for 30 days. ETA, the wife is in her late 30s to early 40s and she's impressed by a truck. Dude, what the hell did OP see in this aging child? Funny how she wants him to get another job but herself won't change jobs because of AP. Double standards. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more interesting and relatable Reddit videos.